All right, guys. So today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. This is my weekly breakdown of the top five. Today we're going to talk about the ALTIS Apprentice Coaches Program, the top 5 reasons why you should participate in that. Recently, this weekend, I had the really cool opportunity to present to a group of individuals, of Olympians, of Division I coaches, of professional strength coaches at the Apprentice Coaches Program. And what this is a program where coaches come down and they get to be involved shoulder to shoulder with the staff at ALTIS and at Exos in Phoenix, Arizona. And ALTIS is a large training group of Olympic athletes, both summer and winter games, and they train all year long. And they are probably the best professional Olympic training crew in the United States for sure. And they do some community outreach. And one of the community outreaches that they do is they open up their doors for coaches to come in and to see the things that they're doing, because they are really, really pumped about the different types of programs that they do, the trackside therapy and different things that they have with their different athletes through a variety of different sports, mostly through track and field. And then Exos is kind of their weight room, home, and cross training center. And Exos does some corporate strength training and training for military contractors and a lot of professional athletes. For example, there were a ton of Buffalo Bills football players that were there that were training on site while I was there presenting. So the top 5 is why to be a part of this Apprentice Coaches Program. I think the first thing is that what's really cool is that ALTIS has secured for the National Strength and Coaching Conditioning Certification. They've gotten some of those classes to actually count for those people that are working towards that. So it's really cool. You get to have some professional development in a field in terms of the conditioning aspect of the strength and conditioning for sure. And you get to have that and also be able to get those credits, which I think is really cool and a neat opportunity. And I'm excited that ALTIS has secured that, because it is one of the most educational experiences I've ever had as a coach, was participating in the ACP myself. Reason number 4, it's like a fantasy camp. If you're a coach and you want to be around elite athletes and Olympians and actually be able to watch what they're doing, have the curtain pulled back in terms of, the types of training and the warm-ups and the cool down and the weight room routines and the plyometric routines, there's no program where you have that much access. When I was there in the summer of 2016, right before the Rio Olympic Games, I got to be, right there with Rutherford, who's the, world champ, Commonwealth champ, and Olympic champ in the long jump. And who would think that, here I am hanging out with the Michael Jordan of long jump, Greg Rutherford, getting to hang out and to spend time with him and talk about everything from training to how cool Coach Path is, to bad tan lines, and raising young children. I mean, I'm sitting here and he and I talked for 45 minutes, and there was no cockiness, there was no aura of ignorance or anything like that. And they were all willing. All the athletes know that when coaches come in for the ACP program, that they're expected to talk to the coaches and answer the coaches that are there and socialize. And this is not something contrived or seems forced. These people are very open and excited to actually meet us and pumped. And I think that there's a level of extra intensity that comes from that, because these athletes, obviously being competitors, want to show off and really prove themselves, to us through their training and the things that they're doing. It was really cool. So it's like a fantasy camp where you get to hang around a bunch of Olympic gold medalists and world record holders and talk to those coaches who coach those people. I don't really know that there's any other sport where you can get that much bang for the buck in terms of experience and lifelong memories as much as you can through the ACP. The other cool thing is every day when you are a part of this program, you guys show up in the mornings. The athletes train, they warm up, you get to see the trackside therapies that they do, all of the different modules of programming and training. They do their workouts. Then they go to Exos. You get to watch them in the weight room there. And again, some more therapy interventions. Get to see them lift, get to see them do some of their, maybe cardiovascular equipment workouts, things like that, and some of the unique zonal training that they do in the weight room based on percentages of speed and effort. And it's really exciting to see that. And then after that, they offer up each day a different theme through a presentation. And so then you get some classroom experience talking about from the science and the anecdotal knowledge and the methods of why did they develop these things. Here are some of the bleeding edge therapies and interventions and training methods that ALTIS has used in their designing of their workouts for their athletes. And then they explain that to you and spend that time with you, going through that thoroughly. So then you get from having real world experience and sometimes even learn by doing. I know that a lot of the coaches get an opportunity to go through the warm up and really feel like what it is to slow cook the meat with a 45-minute or to an hour-long warm up with all the different leg swings and drills and activities like that. And then you have the classroom experience and the visual experience from getting to hang out in kind of a fantasy camp setting to watch these athletes do work on a daily basis. And then after that, they have a poolside chat, which gives you an opportunity as you're developing your questions throughout the day, or you see something that intrigues you or interests you. Then you have the opportunity to ask the coaches that were there training the athletes, the presenters, and sometimes the athletes themselves on why they're doing the methods that they're doing, or any gamut of questions you could come up with. And they give you guys about an hour and a half to 2 hours to ask rapid fire any questions that come to mind. And what a cool opportunity to pick the brains of some of the most elite coaches in any sport, let alone the world of track and field. And then the last thing I would say that is probably numero uno is the ALTIS staff itself. I think it's hard to argue that you could find a collection of coaches who are as skilled or as aware or committed to lifelong learning as the coaches at ALTIS. Dan Path, being one of the main coaches in that program for a long time and now has kind of become more of the educational godfather, has been a mentor to thousands of coaches around the country, and you know, cannot hesitate to think about all the other coaches like Andreas and Chidi and Kevin Tyler and Stu and on and on and on and on, who are a big part of that program training these really amazing athletes. And where is it that you could possibly get the opportunity to talk to those coaches in a one-on-one fashion and have a week-long opportunity to brush shoulders with these guys and to spend time and build relationships and create those networks of really education driven peers? I mean, that's amazing. It's so awesome. So I highly, highly, highly recommend the program, not just because I spoke last week and had an opportunity to present. I really thought that summer of 2016, that was a bucket list item. That was always something I wanted and I've been searching for in terms of my own professional development and opportunities for networking with those wonderful coaches and their athletes that they have. So guys, check it out, man. Go to ALTIS. They've got another program called the ALTIS 360. So even if you can't make it to some of the ACPs, they put up a lot of the content there for you guys to go. Look, I make no money off of this at all. I went down there to present just as an opportunity for me to speak in front of some of the people I respect so much and through the research that I've done. But I just believe in it so much for continued education and your development, and I think it's really important. So check it out.